Chapter 2, Lesson 2, Coastal Peoples. Vocabulary in the section, goods, service, trade, economy, barter. Coastal peoples. Build on what you know. Why do some people choose to live near the ocean today? In California, long ago, one reason people lived near the ocean was to hunt for fish and other food resources in the water. Living on the coast. Main idea. Coastal California Indians used the resources of the ocean and the land around them. 500 years ago, the coast of California was home to many nations. California's long coast stretches from warm, dry areas in the south to thick forests in the north. Each part of the coast had different resources that affected the way people lived. Some resources were found in many parts of California. For example, most California Indians ate acorns, the nuts of the oak tree. Women ground and rinsed acorns to get rid of their bitter taste. They made acorn breads and soups. Other resources, such as seals and whales, were found only along the coast. Coastal peoples built boats that used the sea's resources. The photo below shows the example of a tomal. A tomal is a boat. Chumash people have made and paddled tomal canoes for hundreds of years. Using coastal resources. If you look at the chart below, you'll see the way that the different areas of California used the resources on the coast. The northern coast, the central coast, and the southern coast. In the northern coast were the Yuroks, the central coast had the Miwoks, and the southern coast had the Chumashes. They all lived in different types of housing and ate different types of foods. Different ways of life. The Yurok, Miwok, and Chumash all lived along the coast, but they used different resources. Food and shelter. The ocean was a source of food for all coastal people. The Yurok, who lived in small towns in the north, gathered shellfish. They also caught salmon in nearby rivers. In the south, the Chumash used boats to hunt tuna, porpoises, and other sea animals. People used materials around them to build homes. In the north, they used wood from cedar or giant redwood trees. Along the southern coast, people used smaller trees, tough grasses, and marsh plants to make their houses. Up to 70 people could live in a Chumash house. Goods and services. Coastal people made goods from natural resources. Goods are objects that satisfy people's wants. They can be bought and sold. For example, people made baskets of reeds and branches. Some were big enough to store 1,000 pounds of acorns. The Pomo wove baskets that were tight enough to hold water. People even cooked in baskets by putting hot rocks into soups. People who wove baskets provided a useful service. A service is work people do for others to satisfy wants. Review. What is one way coastal people use resources from the ocean? Trading resources. Main idea. Coastal peoples exchanged resources to meet their needs. Some regions of California lacked certain resources, goods, or services. Coastal Indians used trade with people in other areas to get goods and services that they wanted. Trade is the exchange of resources, goods, or services. An economy based on trade grew in California. An economy is the way in which a group uses its resources to make, buy, and sell things. Resources may include natural resources, tools, or people's work. Some coastal people grew wealthy through trade. Coastal nations traded with people in the valleys and deserts to the east. They exchanged food, baskets, and beads. Along the southern coast, the Chumash also traded with people of the Channel Islands, including Santa Cruz and Santa Catalina. Steatite, a soft stone from the islands, was a prized resource. It was carved into bowls, pipes, and ornaments. Island people traded steatite and fish for mainland goods, such as acorns. Goods traded to one group could then be traded to another group for something else. Resources and goods traveled throughout present-day California and beyond its borders. If you look at the map of California at the bottom of the page, you'll see all of the different coastal nations. Near the ocean, many California Indians lived along the coast and on the Channel Islands, shown above in the photo. Using money. People in California used barter to trade goods. Barter is trade without the use of money. About 800 years ago, however, the Chumash began using money made from a type of shell that was hard to find. Beads made of these rare shells were strung together. A long string of beads was worth more than a short string. Money made trade easier. People who did not have goods to barter could use shell money instead. They bought stone knives, animal hides, and other items. They also used money to buy services such as the help of a healer. By about 500 years ago, other California nations, such as the Yurok and the Ohlone, were also using shell money. Review. Why did the people of the Channel Islands trade with people on the mainland? Lesson summary. California Indians used a variety of resources. They did not have all the resources they wanted. People traded resources to meet their needs. Why it matters. The largest cities in California today are in areas where coastal California Indians settled.